they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are. Oh, where's my logo? West Ham. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Monday, everybody. Weekend goes too quickly. We're getting through February bloody quickly, isn't it? If you're new around here, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We try and do this every Monday. Try and do a live show. Always tends to be the ratings the day before, the night before, or the day after. Well, it's usually on a Sunday, so it's the day after. We played on Saturday. So it's the day after the game before. And we give you a little rating show, get your views. Obviously, we present all the other stuff beforehand. The final word. We had the what else do we have? We had 5 things we've learnt. We had Holly's bit as well. Holly's review of the show, of the game. We did the highlight show, the watch along, all that malarkey. And now we turn to Spurs, isn't it? That's bloody Spurs on Sunday. So we've got all the stuff all over again. The previews should have. I don't know if you know some guys. We've got the YouTuber Smith on. He's a Tottenham fan. He'll be on Thursday night with Anton. Nice bloke, Matt. He's a nice guy. He's a Spurs fan, but he's a nice guy. Really good content as well. He does. So we'll have him on talking about the Spurs game on Thursday night, I want to say. Plus, we've got all the other bits and bobs leading up to it. Let's see what we got in the chat. Let's have a quick look, shall we? We've got Michael. Good afternoon to you. We've got Matt. Nice to see everyone talking to you. Do we think Luizao will get called up if Aged is out? Luizao is actually, he's registered with the Premier League, so technically he can play. Obviously, we don't necessarily know about Aged yet or Paqueta. I think they're both having scans today, I want to say. No, not Hammer's headlines. Might be news at 10. We might bring you a injury update because by then we might get some more information. Injury update about Spurs as well. Shut up, Siri. Injury update about Spurs as well. It's not looking good for them as well. So it'll be a battle of the wounded by the looks of it come Sunday. We're going to have Hammer's headlines coming up a bit earlier today, about 2:00ish, about the Grudzinski meeting with the LLDC and what that could mean, as well as a couple of transfer rumours as well. Jim's in the house, 11:30. Oh, mental. So good evening to Jim. Maybe let's hope it's not too serious for Aguerd and Paqueta. For me, and I think Michael's the same. I think Paqueta is, to me, slightly more worrying than Aguerd. But the fact that Paqueta carried on playing and then went off, where Aguerd, he walked off, and I think Paqueta went straight down the tunnel, and Aguerd didn't. Aguerd sort of stayed sort of in the dugout and then went down the tunnel towards the end. So, yeah, maybe it might be precautionary. We saw the same thing happen with Tilo Kira. He ended up playing 90 minutes on Saturday, didn't he? So, Andy, hope you're well, my friend. Nice to see you in here. Andy's not usually in here. Hope you're well, man. He said when we signed him, pretty much zero chance he will see it first team action this season. He is registered though, Andy. So if he weren't going to have zero, why register him? But I suppose they can register anyone really on the age. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Pete, hope you're well. Respect the point. 1 point or 2 points dropped. Let me know. Luthers is here. Playing the youth, no chance. After all, right, Ralph. We'll batter Spurs. They play 3 at the back, and Romero is out. Not just Romero. Bentancur's out. I'm telling you at 10 o'clock. I'm going to tell you later on. Basuma's out. And obviously Lloris is out as well. So there you go. True, our centre backs get injured. Might need to be first team fitness. Alan's in the house. The Suchek handball will go. Indeed, and that's what I was saying to my bloody on the TikTok. On the TikTok, Chelsea put that. Oh, Specsavers. I went short memories. Anyway, Josh George is here. Do you still look back at how West Ham could have? Do you still look back at how West Ham could have done better at the end of it? Probably. Afternoon. Budgie's in the chat. Oh, God, everyone's in here. Jesus. Moyes likes a small squad. Romero only a one-match ban. 2 injury prone. We can't afford top players without issues. Moyes bottled it yet another game. I would have taken a point before the match. I think we all would have, Matt. I think head and heart. By the end, I mean, we came out of the game. I think I saw Gatesy. Saw a couple of other guys. I saw a captain who knows who he is. And a few others. And we're saying, it's almost like we walked out like we'd lost the game and we'd got a point. And I think if we hadn't had the goal chalked off at the end, I think we would have been probably more happy with the point. But going back and looking at it, the amount of possession, to be honest, Chelsea tore us a new one the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, that first half. Tore us a new one. Could have been 3-0 down. We weren't. We rode our luck. And still, we move on. Another point. Again, a point that many thought we probably wouldn't get, and probably didn't think we were going to get in Newcastle as well. We're probably saying some people's eyes, we're probably 2 points further up than they thought we were going to get in these series of games. I don't know. Apparently, he's doing well in under-21s. 3 wins since playing. He has indeed. Not confident at all, and Moyes will get us enough wins. Sorry, I meant to ask, do you still look back at how West Ham could have done better? Oh, we always do. We always do. We look at every game, mate. Red, they didn't give the handball because it hit his knee first. Yeah, I don't think he... I mean, for me, it wasn't clear and obvious. And he did hit his hand. But if he hit his knee, I think until you sort of saw it, my hand would have probably gone there. I don't know. Pointing against £1 billion squad isn't that bottling it. That's what I tend to agree. Saw the under-21s was good on Friday. Go back and watch it on YouTube. Most fans gave us no points versus, in fact, we were 2 points. That's what I'm saying, Michael. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, so let's do the older ratings. As I said, we play the ratings. I get my views. You'll disagree. Give me your views, and then we'll have a jolly good time. That's basically how it all works. So let's start with the goalkeeper, Fabianski. Obviously, in terms of the selection, it was the same selection against Newcastle. Obviously we Moisey had said, "Oh yeah, Tilo Kira's definitely out," and then the club released photos of the training session where Tilo was in there, and then I saw him get off the bus. So Tilo was playing, so it was the same starting 11 as last time. So that's probably the first time we've done it for a long time. We've had consistently the same 11, not just a formation, but the same 11, albeit not for very long because obviously Paqueta got taken out. So right, Fabianski. Again, Areola's sideline, so he is our only first choice at the moment. I mean, he got a lucky reprieve at the from the Felix chip in the beginning, which I think he should have probably come out better, but I don't know whether he thought that he was offside or whatever. But anyway, he always played to the whistle. Couldn't do anything about Felix's opener. I thought Felix is a very good player, very wily, very frustrating. And probably got lucky with Havertz's goal, which was chalked off. But then I thought he was firm, some great saves. I think, was it Noni came off the right wing? I think, again, a very good player. I highly estimate that Chelsea will be competing for the Premier League next year. Just that some of their players, they're young and they're going to, I mean, that Noni Madueke, he was brilliant. I think he's a really good player. And obviously they got Modric as well. He's very good. Do we have much to do second half? Cut out a lot of crosses, came out for a lot of crosses, considering they got the likes of Bedashili, who I rate as a fantastic goalkeeper, centre-back rather. Thiago Silva, got some big boys. He commanded these bots quite well. Let's have a look. Let's see what we got for some scores on the doors. Everyone's talking to each other. We've got 7, 7, 7, 7. Oh, Antonon, hope you're well. 7, 7. Best game was his passing was up to 64%, average of 20%. Couple of big saves. Yeah. 7, 8. Why do we start slow? I do not know. Yeah, under 18s lost again, but yeah, Barman was playing in the 21s. At least we found a reserve goalkeeper for only one bench. Now Suchek's at number 2, 7, 7. Russie B also gave him a 7. 7. Right, let's move on like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Tilo Kira. Obviously, ahead of the game, he's probably out. He's got a problem. Yada, 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 yada. We knew. And then, it was all bollocks. It was all Moisey. His usual smoke and mirrors. That's what it's called. Usual smoke and mirrors rubbish. So, yes, so he came into kept a straight 11, starting 11 from last time. And I thought it's probably one of his best games he's played for us, I thought, in all honesty. I thought he was really good. He's a lot of the joy they were trying. Clearly, the idea was they were trying to target him, as it seemed, because a lot was coming down his side. But to be honest, the back three kept a really good line, and the amount of times they were caught offside, was fantastic. You know, that was obviously there. We were trying to keep a high line, and they were trying to exploit the high line, and they couldn't do it. And so, you know, I thought they played a couple of forays, came forward quite a lot. He wanted to leave some on João Felix. You could tell he didn't like João Felix. He was really, really, really putting it about. And obviously at the end, when it sort of backs the wall, he was a good last line defender. I thought he played quite well. He played a solid game, and hopefully we'll get a bit of consistency with him. And then maybe when Zuma comes back into the side, he slots in to the Ogbonna role in that middle. And I think you've got a nice back three there. And I think that's the back three he wants. What have we got here? 7. Let me talk to each other. 7, 8, 7 was great. It was Jack. I did some stuff with the inclusive irons and Apu and the guy. I can't think his name. I think his guy's Jack as well. And he wrote the song and stuff. And so I was lucky enough to see them after during the game, which was quite nice. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Anton's best game. West Ham shirt never really put a foot wrong. All problems come through the gap between Oggy and Agard. 8. Still slow to react at times. If anything, Budgie, I think he reacts too quickly. The amount of times that, and that's something I've always said to him, he always tries to over anticipate. So it's almost like he's overrunning the ball. He thinks the ball's going to come there and actually it's gone behind him, you know, that type of thing. But not so much yesterday. 7, 7. Best game for us. Really pleased because I believe we've got a good player. He carries the ball well. 7, almost an 8. I totally agree. Ideal back three, and they haven't played together yet due to injuries. I totally agree. I think the main one's been Agard. And as I said, I think if we had Agard for the whole of this season rather than the last half dozen games, I think we'd be in a bit of different position. If Kyo wasn't a new signing, I don't think he'd play. He's massively up and down. I just think he needs to find someone. I think it's the whole Ben Johnson thing. He needs to find a place and stick to it. Because when we signed him as a centre back, but then he plays for Germany at right back. So then we played a back four and he played that. Then he started doing really good. Then he played as a wing back and he was started doing all right. Then he played crap. And he's like, oh, and he gets chucked out of the team. That's basically how his season's gone so far. Kira's best team from David, 7. I thought, yeah, was it a dog? Yeah, it was a dog. Russie B gave Kira a 7 as well. There's a lot of 7s today. I just want to warn you, a lot of 7s. Let's talk about Angelo Ogbonna. Again, you know, back in the side. Is that his third 90 minutes in a row or something like that? Ridiculous. Considering we all thought we're not going to see him again. Now it's sort of like thinking, oh shit, his contract runs out in the summer. Maybe we should offer him another year deal, which I think they should do really, just for our cover sake more than anything. I know it's not the Red Bull model, but he's someone who you can rely on when he's not injured, of course. Great, you know, he's obviously been the heart of the back three. Again, showed experience against a very mobile Chelsea line who aren't maybe as experienced as him, and you know, but a bit of the wily old pro, which is what we need, particularly when you're playing against a team who are sort of this mega money sort of forward line. And obviously, as Anton alluded to, I think they were trying to go over the top of Kira or trying to run between Oggy and Agard as the sort of the pathway. And so maybe at fault for the goal, maybe him and Agard possibly. But let's get some scores on the doors. Is slow. Yeah, so this isn't the ideal team to play, but no one stops that goal. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's a good goal, but I just thought the run maybe. 6, 7, not his best, but a low 7. It's like a new player. 7 he is at the moment. We need him. Budgie, 7, 7. He's matured like a fine wine. I love Oggy. I think we all do, mate. Oggy is slowing down a bit, but he gives us all 5 first half and a 6 second half. Oggy defying logic. Great. That's a great expression. Returning after career-threatening injury. Solid 7. If Chelsea had a 9, number 9, we'd have lost. I don't know if he would, Matt, to be honest. I think then we would have had someone we can basically mark at the game. The trouble is that because they didn't have a recognised number 9, he didn't really have anyone to mark. So it's like, oh shit, these players are coming into the box. So you didn't really necessarily know. So you almost you're marking space rather than people, which I never enjoy when they do zonal marking. Slow start, better second half. Considering he's only supposed to be used as emergency, he's done well. Good old Paul's in the chat. Happy Paul. All West Ham players are crap and cannot defend. Get rid. Turncoat Rice going down. No hope. Thank you, Paul, as always. When are we playing the ESL games? It'll be March is it the 9th? is it the 9th? Yeah, March the 9th, and then the 16th will be the home game. 9th is away, 16th to go, and the draw I think is coming in about 2 weeks' time. Actually, the playoff first leg is this week, so we'll start to get a view of who potentially we could be playing based on the first leg games coming soon. So Oggy 6 and 7s. I gave him a 7. Let's move on. Let's on it like Sonic. Let's see who we got next. We've got Naif. We've got Nathan. Paul sounds like from these past. We haven't looked threatening up front all season. Totally agree. It was a comfortable defensive performance once we settled. I agree. Once that 20-minute madness got out of the way, then we did settle in. You're totally right. Then it was a bit more controlled. Obviously, Naif came in with a fantastic, everyone was raving about him because of the Newcastle game. Did a great tackle. I think second half. Another sort of chasing down tackle. Not as good as the Callum Wilson one, but I don't mind that because actually he shouldn't be doing these. We shouldn't be having to be in those positions. Perhaps could have been slightly blamed for that, for the Felix goal. I mean, he was the nearest defender to Felix coming in. But apart from didn't put much of a foot wrong, as always. Second half, really impressive. Another one of his sort of, that last-ditch tackle on Felix to stop him going 2-1 in front. Obviously, forced off of an injury, and that's what we need to keep an eye on. As I said, he is... I believe there'll be I think him and Paqueta are having their scans today, I think. So we'll see what happens with them. I in terms of the two, I see more hope with Aged making the Spurs game because he didn't go down the tunnel straight away, and it could have been, as said, precautionary. He felt his groin, same as Tilo. Newcastle game, felt his hammy, decided to take him off, and yeah, I think that was probably about right. Gerd not his best, but still class. 7, 7, 6, 7. Worst game, still a Rolls Royce. 7. Shaky start, second half. 7. Impeccable for 80 minutes as Budgie. 8. Again, was not a Rolls Royce this game. They targeted over the top, and he was beaten the first 20 minutes. 7, not his best game. It's good to see things a bit more positive. However, I'd like to see us not concede first for a change. Indeed, I think we'd all like to. I don't think that's part of the game plan. I don't think that's part of Moyes' game plan, I'll be honest. But again, I gave him a 7 as well, as you said. Not to the heights, but comfortable second half, I think. More comfortable. Let's talk about Vlad. Let's talk about Vladimir Sufal. I thought he looked a threat going forward quite a lot, to be honest. He was able to get into the box and almost was able to level the game, with a great shot. He was almost going front in the second half. Then he had a shot, but obviously the first half, short cross to Bowen, who flicked it up and then went back pace for Emerson. Good off the break. I think he got booked on Mudryk because he beat him, like cynical professional foul. But yeah, showed a lot. I thought it was a good game. Again, I thought he had a really good game, and his upturn as well is great. And I think just shows you. I know before we used to criticise the fact Moyes played the same 11 all the time, but actually playing the same 11 at the moment is producing some really consistent performances from the likes of Aged, Ugbonna, talk about Emerson in a minute, Sufal. It just makes things better, I think. What we got, Sufal 8, 7 was a man on a mission. No one shall pass. He's back. Lad's the complete. Love this lad. Complete level. 8, 7 gets 9 for that cross to the goal. 8. BT Sport gave Aged man of the match. We gave him man of the match as well. The sponsors did. 8 man of the match. I can't remember man of the match, or I can't remember. I gave him a 7. Thought it was a great game from Vlad. Great game. Let's crack on. Let's go with Mr. Emerson. Obviously, with Zuma out injured. Obviously, he ex-Chelsea. Emerson was the only ex-Chelsea player at senior level to be playing against his former side. Obviously, Declan Rice was as a youngster. And I thought it was his best, I thought it was his best game in a West Ham shirt, not only because of his performance, but his performance and the fact he's playing against his old team as well. Obviously scored, instinctively got into the box. So for your left wing back to be in that position just shows you his intent, but also the intent of the team, because actually rather than defensive first, he was in the box, arguably in a position which a striker should have been in all honesty. But I thought he did very well. But he ranks quite high up in terms of the match for tackles, always available on the left hand side. Got a lot of joy. And for 12 million quid, I think he ain't a bad player. 12 million quid. I think we found his position. So now that's how we need to develop. And I think clearly 3 at the back. I know it maybe not Moyes' choice. Moyes might want to play 4 at the back. I think 3 at the back, Emerson pushing forward, Soufal. That's the way to go for the rest of the season, in my opinion, because it's working and it's solid. So yeah, that's the way I see it. Emerson was great going forward, and his defense was solid. Plus, loved him scoring against his old team. Didn't celebrate. I respect that. I always respect that when players do that because he gave him a good couple of years service at Chelsea. 7 really good. 7 improving. Spotty going forward 8. We found a left wing back, high 7, but with the goal 8s. Emma was man of the match. He's getting a 9, an 8 from Waka Guy. Yang gives an 8. Jungle is massive. On a mission. Yes, great shout. On a mission. That's it. Would have been some of the goals worth another point. Started to find his way in this best wing back. Good deliveries. Well, by his own, let's go back and talk about Arthur Masuaku quickly. Arthur Masuaku wasn't a left back. He was a left wing back by his own admission. And Emerson's the same. And when we started to find a decent bit of form under Moyes, was when we went to the 3 at the back, and we had an attacking left wing back, and his name was Arthur Masuaku. So much so that I remember that he was away on international duty at the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he came back early because he got a knock, and we were all shitting ourselves. And now, 18 months later, you think, were we really concerned about Arthur Masuaku? We were, and Emerson is playing himself into that position, and I think it's a really great position for him to play in, and it's really nice. I believe he probably is, just because of the goal celebration, or his wife is. It was Michael. I think actually, Arthur. Don't forget, he scored the goal. Don't forget, he scored the goal against Chelsea last time. He was not great, but he was in a side. He was the only one who would actively take the ball and run forward. But I'm more confident with Emerson than Arthur, definitely. But he weren't a bad player during that time. Then he obviously form went off the window when he got injured. He gets 7 man a match, maybe an 8, but I'll give him man a match at 7. Right, let's talk about Declan Rice, the captain. Obviously, big talk on the pitch beforehand. We had about obviously Enzo Fernandez and Declan Rice sort of face off, so to speak. We had Scott Minto on Thursday. Was it Friday? No, Friday. On Friday, talking about Enzo Fernandez. How much, if he was 100 million, Declan was a lot more. He's a better player. Yeah. Saw Scott on Saturday. He passed on his regards to the West Ham Network. And he did a lot of things right. He was on you talk about being on a mission. He was on a mission, in my opinion. He was on a mission to maybe again it's against his old club, so to speak. And he was definitely, that first half was trying to put it about, he was trying to do too much, I think, to be honest. Particularly when Paqueta came off. He was trying to do too much. He was trying to do 2 roles. And he snuffed out Fernandez quite a bit. How many missed passes did Fernandez do for 106 million quid? I'll expect almost like a 100% pass completion rate. The amount of times it sort of went under his foot and very poor. After break, less effective. And he needs to drop back into that sort of holding midfield role, that CDM role a lot more. But then it comes out afterwards, he's got a virus, and he played like he was knackered towards the end. And we know a virus can knock you out. So maybe he was running on adrenaline in the first half, and second half not so much. But then he was well enough to present an award at the Brits. Go figure. 6, as he had a virus. Sell Rice ASAP. We can't sell him until summer now, weekends. So that's it. Considering he had a virus. 7, lethargic. 6, 8 from Rice. 8 from Jan. Did okay and was unwell. Was brilliant. High 8. 6, mind on the in the late, exactly. Was Croc, but still managed to play full game. Captain's knock. Yeah, great shout. Captain's knock. That's what it was. You can see he's ill, knackered. He won't go to Chelsea. He's off to Arsenal in the summer. 7 for playing with that virus. Others would have called a sickie. Aaron Cresswell, for example. Solid game. Apparently had a virus. He did. Had to suit it too much. Worst performance by his high standards. Still putting the effort, though. I totally agree, Wackagov. I've gone for a 7. That exact reason. Love Rice. However, at times the team seems more balanced without him. 7 for Rice. I think he tries too hard. I think he's almost like it's really strange saying you try too hard, but he's trying to do everything. And actually, there's guys there who can do those roles. And if he does his role, he'll be even, rather than spread yourself too thin. That's what I think he's doing. He's trying to be a captain and spread it, and he spreads himself too thin. Sometimes, particularly if you're knackered. Right. We won't say anything about Paqueta because he got injured. Looks to me like a similar injury it looked like a shoulder. His arm was like a little bit looser, so we'll see what happens with that. But we're not going to talk about Paqueta because obviously he didn't play. So let's move on and let's talk about Jared Bowen. Obviously, recent form he's had 3 goals in the last 3 games. Maybe he's getting a bit better. Maybe he's getting a bit better. In terms, definitely a high level performance than it was at the beginning of the season. He's eager to sort of. He did seem to again be on a bit of a mission. I think a lot of them were after what happened last time at Chelsea, to be honest. A first assist of the season, considering he double figured for assists and goals last season. Very poor for him return so far in terms of goal involvements. But he flicked it on for Emerson. It was always a live wire, always looking to get involved, but was sort of nullified. I mean, the thing is, Balashiddy's a fantastic defender. Gutted we didn't have, we were linked to him and I would have loved him because he's a really good, solid defender, but he's got a bit of pace about him. He's like a more mobile Kurt Zuma. A bit gutted we didn't get him, but anyway. Right, let's have a look. No, Cressy had the same, but as Rice, but did he refuse to play or did he not pass? Apparently, just phoning sick. That's what I heard, but it might be wrong. In the current system, has to work too hard. I agree. Patman was to be taken out, was a threat. Possibly no score. Paqueta is off. Yeah, indeed. Looked good for that 15 minutes. Made a beeline to get Paqueta out of the game early, and it worked. Well, I think he's got a target in his back now, isn't he? He's a good player, and he's got a dodgy shoulder. So it's the type of injury that you could get away with without having a foul. It's a shoulder barge. And if you get him in the right, and if you're clever, you could probably get him out of the game quite sharpish. Gemma gave him a 4. 7 was kicked and pillar to post. Always is, mate. 7 still failed all the time without drawing calls. Was awful. 4, 7, 6 knows he has that spot. No competition for him. I agree. Sell Bowen with Rice in the summer, says McKelvey. 7 was a bit inconsistent still. 6. Paqueta is the Brazilian Gascoigne. Bowen was running a lot, but no product. Needs to be dropped to Spurs if Skamaka Rings is available and play Ant on the right. I think we'd like to play Antonio on the wing. We know it's not. Oh, hello. But we know it's not going to happen, I don't think. I gave Bowen a 7, maybe a bit generous, maybe a 6. To be honest, looking at it now, but we'll go with that. Benny, let's talk about Ben Rama, Okay, all he does is dive. I don't know why he does this now. Never take on his man. Antonio's the same, isn't it? Hope he isn't like this off the field, budgie. In terms of Gascoigne, I imagine. Ben Rama. Massive. Considering at beginning of the World Cup break, you would have said that he was our most consistent player, most creative player, and he was. But he's had a massive dip of form recently. And a shadow of himself, absolute shadow of himself at the moment. Not his best performance at all. Was the first player taken off by Moyes on Saturday, rather, along with Antonio. The odd flash in the first half, but didn't really couldn't strut his stuff, couldn't do his tricks. Perhaps sometimes unlucky not to get picked out. He was in good positions, but they went that way instead of that way. But yeah, he's just don't know what's up with him, man. It was awful. 3, 5, 5, 5. 4 turn effective winners don't happen the lone striker. Mr. Inconsistent when missing lots, but does try to defend. Suits certain games, others he would come off the bench. I always think, Scott, personally, for me, Benny is always best suited as a substitute. Because for me, that's when the game's looser. That's when he's better. When the game's looser, when he's got more space. Second half he came on instead of say Downs, or for example, say he came off the bench, he would give that bit of extra oomph. But yeah, he's suffering from the new formation. That might be it, Andy. You're probably right, man. Maybe his downturn form has been since we've gone back to the back three. I don't know. But then again, he has a good relationship with Emerson. They've been playing quite well, and obviously the Derby game he came off the bench, and I think some of his playing was beautiful, really good, really good. Benny gets shoved off the ball too easy. For the few minutes he looked, should be benched with the 4 candles. Benny is still showing some of his craft, but is dipped in form. 7 from Budge, no space to turn. 5, 5, 5. Unfortunately, form is dropping. Lovely pick of him with his mum off the pitch. Agree. Better come on as a sub. My score was supposed to be 6 for Benny. Oh, he's changed his mind, Budge, didn't he? It was a 7, but he said, "Oh, maybe I should do." I actually gave him a 5. Gave him a 5, and again because he sets himself high standards. He's been the most consistently creative person we've had on the team this season, and he's been crap. Yesterday he was crap on Saturday. Antonio. So far against Chelsea, he's got 2 goals and an assist against his name. So in the last 3 appearances against Chelsea, so it's a team he always looks forward to. And obviously we're looking to improve. Obviously, there's been an improvement in terms of Antonio's work rate. Not necessarily his work rate; he always tries hard, but in terms of the application rather than the effort. Obviously, scored a good goal against Derby in the FA Cup. Had the only real chance of note before Emerson's goal. He had that clever flick off from Bowen's cross. He did a little ball came in. I'm showing you my feet, but you can't see. He sort of tried to flick it behind his back, which if that got in, everyone would be like, "Oh, he's back." It was a great goal. Again, works his socks off, battles, pressed, and at the moment, he deserves his place in the side. I think in terms of what he brings, not necessarily in product, but in terms of what he brings in terms of. He had Thiago Silva, he had Badashili, he had some big boys, and he was enjoying that battle. Antonio's getting back to form and can't stand to take him off. Mind you, still can't shoot. Indeed. 7, 7, 7. Nicely impressing, but not much more. 7, 7, 6, 7. Ran around a lot. Too much distance between him and the rest. Took off too early. Probably right. 7 tries his best but can't score. I don't think he just doesn't have the opportunities. He's not in the right space. He's almost doing 2 jobs. He's doing the high press and then he's he's not in the box. Cut adrift and little support. And that's it, Artel. He's an extended attacking midfielder. Go out for Tony and someone sell Antonio. Well, not if he gets banned from his betting. Did well, 7. 7 good effort. Didn't look like scoring, but didn't think tactics helped him. Russie B also gave a 7 to Antonio, which I think is the highest score given for a long, long time. Let's talk about Tommy Souček. Came on very early on in the game. Never easy when you do that because obviously the team set up with Paqueta in and then he's come in. He came just minutes before Felix was on. Had to score the opening game of the tie. Obviously, I thought he'd scored a late winner, but he was off. But him and Deck were offside. And then minutes later, blocked Conor Gallagher's shot with his hand. Perhaps fortunately, not to get checked, but again, offered a lot in the set pieces. I thought he was dogged. I think it probably benefited us, I think, a little bit, taking off in a defensive perspective, taking off Paqueta, bringing on Souček, because that midfield got more and more centralised and more beefier. they took off wingers and they brought on people like Mount. They brought on Tikic. They were really padding up that midfield a little bit, and I thought he played all right. I thought he played okay. What we got? Antonio, Bamber too overweight. I won't score goals. Ings, on the other hand, never stopped running the whole time. He did 7. Great backup goalie. Actually did well. 6, 6, 7, 7, 10 for that save. Sorry, a 52%. The average of the plus, not Premier League now. No, I don't think. But for me, he's not. For me, he's just a lump that you need there sometimes. To be honest, that's me. One of my favourite players, misjudged by Moyes. The hand of Frank. Yes, hand of Frank. I love it. 7, 6. How some people gave him man of the match beyond me, only an average performance for me. No, not man of the match for me, but I thought he had an okay game. I gave him a 6. I thought he came in and did a job. And I think that's what we needed. We needed him to come in and do a job. Danny Ings came on, obviously 25 minutes ago, maybe a little bit more than he usually was thinking he was going to get. Won the odd foul. Didn't do a load. To be honest, didn't do much. But then again, he was, as someone said, he didn't stop running. And when you got 20 minutes, you can do that. I just think he's, and again, I think it might be a function of the system as well, because he is a strike. He's a striker. He's a guy who needs to go out there and just be around the 6-yard box. And if he'd got that shot that Antonio had got, and I know Antonio tried to do something clever with it. I think if that was Ings, it would have been in the back of the net. But again, the formation doesn't suit him on his own. If it was him and Skamaka, yes, but not on his own. Ings was busy again. 6, 5. No support. Isolated, won't score in the system. 6, looks like he wants to do well. He does. Needs a goal to get him firing. 6, 6. Felt for Ings as he works good, but no service for him to score. Yep, I agree. Russie B also gave him I gave him a 5 because he didn't really play it. It didn't do much. Ineffective. 5. Like to see him playing. Yeah. Good shout. Give him 90 minutes and see what he can do. If he can go for 90 minutes, that is. And lastly, we won't talk about Ben Johnson. Yeah, he just came on with 10 minutes ago. Flynn came on, a little bit of a long run out than usual. And then sort of changed to 3-5-2 kind of. Didn't see much of the ball, really. But, again, came on and just tried to shore up that defence, if anything. Not really much scores there. I gave him a 5 because he just came on, really. He just came on. And that is it, my friends. 7 for 25 minutes, fair play. Now, as I said, we've got loads of stuff coming out this week. We've got Hammer's headlines coming out in about an hour's time. We'll be talking about Danny Krajinski, because not only were we at the game, but Mr. Krajinski was at the game as well. He was at the game. And he was having a meeting, apparently, with the LLDC CEO, Lynn. Old Lynn. He's having a meeting with Lynn. What could he have been talking about? LLDC, who currently run the London Stadium. Why is he having a meeting? So we'll talk about that in a bit. In about an hour or so, we'll put it up with a couple of transfer rumours. We'll also have news at 10 later on tonight at 10 o'clock, hence the name, where we hopefully we'll have some updates on injuries and also a scouting mission that Mark Noble went on. There we go. But anything that breaks, we will obviously bring it to you as soon as possible. Tomorrow we've got tweet all about it. Ollie's got tweet. We have tweet about it tomorrow morning, so make sure you check that out. Also, we'll start getting ready for the Spurs game on Sunday. So we'll have all the watch-alongs, the preview shows, all that type of stuff. Atmosphere was really flat. We need to have more singing going on. I think it's chicken and egg, Helen, for me. I think it's, if the team are performing, then the crowd sing. If the team don't perform, and by performing, it is attacking, not defending. And unfortunately, at the moment, we will be doing a lot of defending because we need to try and keep a clean sheet so we can get the points we need to stay up. So it's sort of a bit of yin and yang. Krajinski trying to sell his shares. No, I don't think what to Lynn. No, I don't think Lynn's going to take it. They've got no money, LLDC. What is Lawson doing in your thought? I thought he was attacking your thoughts. I think he was, but I think the whole format, it's all gone. For me, Arteta's gone back to basics. We need to go back to basics. And he sort of did the same thing when he first came in for both times. He came in when he was, and he went back to basics and worked, defense all the way up. So I think that's why I think Warburton's getting as much say in it than maybe he did at the beginning of the season, maybe. I'm in bed by then, 4 p.m. Well, you can watch it in the morning then, Michael. Watch it at 4 a.m. I doubt anyone expects us to get 2 points. No, I agree. Yeah, indeed. It's 2 points. And, what we 16th now? Because Leeds lost, didn't they? So, look, at the end of the day, for us, it is about just getting the points on the board. I'm not thinking it's going to be particularly exciting football over the next we've got 16 games to go, but I think if we keep the momentum going, we've still got the best I think we've got the best goal difference in the bottom 6. Only Leicester are above us, and then we got better than Palace. So in the bottom 10, we've got joint best defensive goal difference. So, but a few more goals will make a massive difference for us, and a few more points as always. Do you think we'll stay up? Yes, I do. Krasinski by who knows, Michael? Who knows? He's waiting in the wings, trying to undermine so he can take over. He has to be doing his own stuff all as attacking coach. Thank you very much. Michael is an investor. He will sell on to someone at profit or use it to sponsor his corporates. Anyway, guys, if you're new around here, give it a like, a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button there. When you have a preference, select all and you get everything. And then maybe even become a channel member. But quite a few more members recently. So thank you for all that type of thing. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. And we'll see you guys very, 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 very soon. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.